Hi everyone! So today I'm going to be just doing a little bit of a practice makeup for my alien. I've done an alien once and Spotty the Clown as well, which were both full body paint kind of cosplay type things, I don't know. But I have really been wanting to do full body paint again, particularly the alien girl, because I'm just so into aliens. I find it so sexy. But I haven't gotten around to it just from pure stress, like being stressed that I'm gonna fuck it up, right? Because the face makeup will take like 2 hours and then the body paint will take like 4 hours. So I'm kind of just, I worry too much, right? And I think to myself, oh, if I fuck it up at like one step along the way, like imagine I'm like 2 or 3 hours in and I fuck it up, and then my whole day is going to be ruined and I'm not going to want to do it again. So the idea behind today is to just do a little bit of a practice run for the face makeup so that I've kind of got an idea of what I'm going into on the day when I actually want to do the full body paint. So just a little talk through which foundations I usually use. This is probably one of the most popular ones for clown makeup, is Miron Clown White, and this is Sunset Makeup White Foundation. I usually have both on hand because this one to me is a lot better. It's easier to apply, it's lighter on the face, but it is quite a bit more expensive and it does run out a lot faster. So usually what I'll do is I'll have one of these big pots of Clown White and I'll have the Sunset makeup, and then when this one runs out I kind of use this one as a backup. But I wanted to do an alien and I wanted it to be very blue, so I wanted to be completely blue skinned for this. So what I did was I got the Clown White and I mixed in a blue grease paint. I'm not quite sure how well it's going to go together, but it's been mixed in here for literally months, and as you can see it's not separated or anything weird, so hopefully it should be alright. I did already try to do a practice run of this, but it was really thick and lumpy, so I have since watched a couple of tutorials and hopefully what I've learnt can be put to some use and I can teach you about it. So first thing I need to do is get my hair out of the way with what I like to call the head condom. It's fantastic. I'm just gonna slip that over. Yeah, it's very attractive, I know, very attractive. Pulling that Pitbull cosplay, aka sexiest man alive, Mr. Worldwide. Dale. Just to get my fringe and the little wispy bits of hair out of the way. There we go, and then I'm going to pull it up because I want to see my hairline, because I'm going to do the paint all the way up to the hairline. You shouldn't really be able to see any of this because my fringe is going to go over the top of it, but just in case there's like little gaps in my fringe, you don't want to just see like bald ass skin popping through the blue, you know? So usually when I'm doing the Clown White I like to use one of these puffs instead of a sponge, but I've been told that for the grease paint, a damp little sponge is better. It's not wet, like if I squeeze it loads of water's not going to come out, but it is fairly moist, so make sure you get your moist sponge, guys. And I'm going to use a brush to apply this. So I think where I was going wrong before was that I was putting it on far too much, far too thick, right? But the tutorial that I watched on YouTube told me that I should only be applying this on the fattiest parts of my face, so the cheeks and the little squishy chin bit here, and then sort of spreading it around everywhere else, because these parts, they're not very fatty, and under the eyes and stuff, and if you apply it straight there it's going to be cakey as hell, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to try just doing a bit on the cheeks. Now this stuff goes a long way, so you really don't need a lot. I'm probably only going to dip the brush in once or twice for this whole thing. Okay, well, hopefully this won't go terribly wrong. You'll find out if I'm crying in about 10 minutes. Got my wet sponge. And I'm just going to start dabbing it in where I've put the paint, slowly blending it out. Not bad, not bad. I forgot if I can layer this type of makeup. Probably should have looked that up before I started. I know that you can layer sunset makeup, but this one I'm not so sure. And I'm just gonna be basically beating my face repeatedly until this bad boy is all spread out. I'll probably speed this bit up because you don't really need to see me beating my face for like 10 minutes. But that's how long it's gonna take. I'm not gonna worry too much about the nose for now. Because whenever I fuck up the nose, I can always just stick a clown nose on there. Bada bing, bada boom, problem solved, baby. And I'm just going back over the part where I put the paint and spreading it out. I know that Sunset Makeup does colourful foundations, but we're on a budget, so that's why we did the DIY mix. Maybe someone can get me some colourful foundation from my wish list, wink wink, and we'll get better results. Because that's what it's meant for. Can't do makeup with me without the sound effects, sorry lads. Gotta really, sometimes I stick my finger in there to get in the nose crevice. Okay, I can still see quite a bit of skin through this, but the thing is some makeup can look pretty trashy like up close in person, but on camera it always looks way better than it does in person. And we only do makeup for the camera here, so we're fine. But if I was going to a party or something, this might be a bit of a skill issue. Shit, I just forgot I was gonna block my eyebrows out to make myself look more alien, but it's fine, this is just a practice. It's not the end of the world. I literally put a full pot of bright blue grease paint in here, and it's not as blue as I wanted it to be, but I suppose it still does have to look like skin, so maybe it's for the best that it's only light blue. Okay. This might be a mistake because I'm not sure if I can actually layer this makeup, but I need more. So I'm gonna put it back on the fatty parts of my face again and start spreading it around again. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, it seems like that worked, so that's good. It can be quite hard to get it in the corners of your eyes, but we're working with what we've got. My hand is killing already. And I'm just going to keep moving it around as much as I can, trying to get it as even as I can. Can't see my skin through it anymore, so that's a good The thing is that, like, before doing clown makeup and stuff like that, I never actually did like regular girl makeup, so I have limited skills like up front to go off. Okay, I'm looking pretty blue. I'm just going to transfer some of the excess off my cheeks and then a little bit onto my ears. I'm not going to focus on like covering my ears completely, but I just need them to not be the bright skin colour that they are, because then they'll stick out like a sore thumb. Sounds kind of weird, like I'm underwater. Water. Oh, you've got to love the fake British accents that they do in American TV shows. Water. I'm like listening to it and I'm like, nobody in England actually talks like that, you know. Losers. So I'm painting over my lip line quite a bit because I'm going to want to draw lips back on top, and I have small lips, so I always overline them. I always draw them way bigger than they actually are, and I need to cover up my natural lip line so it's not like as obvious where my fake lips are. Real fake lips, anyone? Okay. You know what? I'm actually pretty happy with this. Oh, bada bing, bada boom. Okay. So, now I'm gonna stop fucking with it for a bit and just let it sort of sit on my face. I'm trying not to do too much expression with my face, because the more I raise my eyebrows, the more the makeup's gonna set into my forehead wrinkles, and the more that I smile, the more that my eyes are gonna crease and fuck it up. So I basically just have to sit here really still and pretend like I've had a shitload of Botox, which is really hard for me because anyone who knows me will know that I have a very expressive face, so it's really hard for me to not be moving my eyebrows and stuff when I'm talking. But we're just gonna chill. We're just gonna chill and wait. Also, I am aware that it's awfully shiny at this point. That's what the powder is for. If I had more money, it would be blue powder, but it is not. It's like sort of translucent, so... Well, it says it's translucent, but it is slightly white. And usually that's not a problem for the white makeup, but with this one, I'm kind of worried that it's gonna make it less blue. But I guess we'll find out. There's only one way to find out. Fight! Just gonna dab it a little bit more into my hairline while I'm waiting. Just so that we don't have this like block line of skin right here. And yes, it will be my hair, but it does come off quite easily with just soap and water. Water! Like, people are asking me quite a bit, what do you use to take your makeup off? I struggle to get it all off, and what is it that you're using? I'm like, have you tried soap and water? And they're like, oh no, that's a great idea. I've never thought to try that. Like, honestly, don't waste loads of money on makeup remover. Just soap and water is fine. The best thing about white makeup is that it makes your teeth look yellow as fuck. And blue is obviously like other side of the colour wheel, right? So with purple and then yellow like on opposite sides of the colour wheel. So they really contrast each other. And so the blue is going to make my teeth really yellow. But hopefully if we can put like a dark lipstick on, we can try and get some of that down. I find that purple, like dark purple lipstick usually makes my teeth look a bit whiter. I could just take better care of my teeth, but you know, I'm mentally ill as fuck, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah. So when I'm doing the full body makeup, I could always paint the face, because I would always paint the face first and separately, and then I'd move on to the body. But I could always paint down the neck as well to here. But the thing is then, where the first lot of makeup set, we're going to have like a line coming around here. And I would rather that line be under the chin where it's not so visible when you're looking straight at me. So that's why I would probably stop here and then do the neck with the body. But I'm sure if you were gonna contour the collarbones and stuff, you could maybe hide it a little bit along here. I'm not too skilled at contouring because, like I said, I never really did makeup before doing clown stuff, so contouring is a mystery to me. I'm still learning. So yeah, that's the plan. Maybe I'll do the full body paint today if this goes well, but I'm not gonna give myself a high expectation so then I can be disappointed and really upset when it doesn't go right. I'm like just seeing today as like a little practice, and then if it does go right, then yay, and if it doesn't, then whatever, it's just a practice. It's no big deal, right? Okay, it's probably been long enough to try with the powder now. I'm gonna start at the bottom of my face with the powder and move up, because if I started at the top, the powder would fall down onto the other bits of makeup that I'm not ready to powder yet. And I may need to adjust for example, some of the wrinkles under my eyes and my forehead and stuff. So I'm just gonna press the puff into the powder. Start here at the bottom. Usually start along the jawline. It's gonna look really white at first, but most of it's gonna get brushed off. I'm being very gentle so I don't leave any nail impressions in my foundation. It's important to breathe very slowly and carefully when you're doing this, lest you get clown lung. I always try to breathe through my mouth because I'd rather get the powder in my mouth and taste it than have it up my nose and have it sneezing my makeup off. And I'm just moving up the face, constantly dipping in for more powder, because if I don't, then I'll start picking that makeup up with the sponge, and I don't want to do that. Powder can be as thick as you want, and there's no such thing as too much powder, because like I said, we're gonna brush that off afterwards, so no biggie. You can see I'm covered in it already. That's normal. So I'm going to be doing it just up to my eyes, because normally the eyes need a little bit of adjustment after. Getting right into the nose crevice there. And then once I'm at this point where it's like to here, I'm just gonna have a little dab under my eyes, because the paint will have settled into any wrinkles on my eyes, and I really want to make sure that that goes away. So I re-dabbed under the bottom of my eyes to do those parts, and I'm being really gentle because I don't want the powder to move up to my eyelids, which also need another dab. I don't know if you can see that, but because my eyes are folded, I fold the eyelids, that's where the paint settles, in my eye cracks, baby. Sexy, sexy eye cracks. Okay, now I've got that on the bottom of my eyes. I'm going to look down like this and not open my eyelids, and then I can even out. It doesn't have to be perfect on the eyelids because obviously the eyeshadow is going over the top anyway, but I just kind of want to avoid it being lumpy, that's all. There we go. and I'm not looking up. I'm gonna keep looking down while the powder goes on. Same thing for the other side. And then I can move up to the forehead, which I usually even out again with the sponge too, because of the wrinkles in my forehead. I honestly don't even think it's an age thing that I have such bad forehead wrinkles, because I've had them since I was young. I have such an expressive face. I'm constantly raising my eyebrows, and that'll be why. But even if it is aging, that's fine. Nothing wrong with aging gracefully. I'm not really the type of person to worry about looking older or growing older, because I've looked young forever. I'd like to at some point look like a real adult. That would be great. I wonder how old I'll be when I stop getting asked for ID, because I'm 25 now and they still ask me. The saddest thing is being refused an energy drink at like 7 in the morning when you're tired as fuck and you have no other means of caffeine. So I'm pretty happy with the amount of powder I've got on right now, but like I said, you really can't do too much, so I'm gonna put fucking loads more on, because like, why not, innit? I'm not going to worry too much about getting it all in my eyebrows, because first of all, my fringe is going to cover them up and we can always wipe that off later. When I do the actual alien, I'm hoping to use a glue stick to cover my eyebrows up completely, because I think it just looks too human with the eyebrows. I'm going to want to look as alien as possible, so getting rid of the eyebrows will really help me achieve that alien look. We're getting extraterrestrial up in here, bitches. It's looking like clown white at this point. It's so white. I think it looks more blue in person, but I'll see when I'm editing later. So, now I'm fucking absolutely covered in powder. I'm gonna let that set for a while again while I get the powder off me. Try not to breathe too much of it in. Oh, I found the lid. It was stuck to my leg. Okay, my head thing slid off and I can't put it back on because I'll get like a mark across here, so I'm just gonna sweep it back and hope it doesn't get in my way. But I know it looks super good, right? It looks so good and sexy right now, like a sexy blue egg. Raw. Yeah, I was hoping it would come out more blue, because last time Spotty the Clown was supposed to be blue, like more blue than the alien, but it just looks really, really white on camera, so yeah. The thing about the white and the blue especially is that it makes pinks look even more pink, so like how pink my tongue looks, that's how my pussy is gonna look. So I'm gonna have a seriously pink cootie at the end of this if I do my whole body. Last time when because blood painted like down to the crack and the booty cheeks opened and it was just so pink down the middle, and I said, damn, that looks like an axe wound. Probably should have plucked my unibrow before this started, because it's really showing through. It's really, really shining through today, lads. So, I probably should have thought about this beforehand, but I have time to think about it now, so whatever. Thinking about what I'm actually going to do with the makeup, because I really want it to look very alien, very inhuman. So, first of all, we're not going to have the eyebrows there. So, what I might do when I don't have the eyebrows is bring the eye makeup up, like, really big. Or potentially bring like some kind of under here type thing to make my eyes look really big and juicy. And then for the mouth, I'm not quite sure how to make that look so alien. I still have to look pretty, right? I still have to look attractive, but I also need to look alien. So it's going to be difficult to figure it out, but I'm sure I will figure it out with enough practice. I might have to practice this a few times before I get it right. So it's a good job that I've got all of this, because I mixed the whole thing and I was like, will that be enough for like my face and body? But literally for my face, all I used was like 2 dabs of this for the face. So you can imagine I could probably do my whole face and body with this multiple times. So that's good, because I don't want to spend any more money on makeup right now. I'm trying to get out that overdraft so I can sell this dumbass house that I fucking hate and find a nice house that I like. So yeah. I asked on Twitter where it's safe to live in the UK, and someone was like, come to Doncaster. And I was like, I'm not coming to Doncaster. That might be worse than the situation we're in now. You know? They got some freaky people over there in Doncaster, dude. They got a couple of freaky dungeons down there, though. Look at that fucking 5 head, dude. Like, you can see why I got a fringe, right? Because I always thought a fringe wouldn't suit me. But when I think now about how this used to be here all the time and there was nothing to cover it up. Gross. I wonder if anyone's got like a giant forehead fetish. Like, yeah, slap that dick on my big shiny forehead. Yum yum. Slide my forehead up and slap it. You know what I mean? Alright, I'm gonna brush this off now. It's probably not been quite long enough, but like I said, a bitch is impatient. So I'm gonna start at the bottom, because that's where I started putting the powder on. So that one's been on the longest. And I'm being like so gentle with this. I know that you can't feel it through the camera, but this brush is so soft and delicate, and you barely even need to touch to just sweep the powder off. So I'm gonna get it on the ears and the jawline where I started, and you can see how much comes off. See? It's like one of my favourite parts because it's so fun to watch. Yeah. And you can see that blue is shining through now that I've taken that bit off. So thank God for that, because we need it to be blue, bitch. I'm an alien. Texture is definitely a lot better than last time. It was giving very lumpy, very thick last time. But this feels very light on my face, so I'm glad that I took the advice that I was given. Again, try not to breathe too much of it in, because it's bad for your lungs. Going around my nose like this. Choop, choop. Now we've got rid of that shiny. It's looking a lot better to me. Okay, I'm blue. Dabu dee dabu da, baby. So I'll probably make my eyebrows blue today, because next time I'm not going to have eyebrows, so I might as well have some fun with it. I can just tell already that my nose is going to start running, but I'll just deal, it's fine. Get rid of that powder off me. So for the next part, baby, I got a bunch of blues and purples. We're gonna have a packing brush. This brush is designed to really pack all of the colour in there quite solid, because that's the look that I like. It's really, really compact and tiny, And I know what it is because it says packing brush on it. Yay! So for choosing a blue, I think I might go with like these more denim colours rather than the bright ones. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to go too greener because I really wanted to focus on blue, so maybe we'll do decisions. Okay, we'll go with the full blue. So I'm just starting off by putting the colour just on my eyelids, and then I'm gonna figure out how high up I want it to go and what shape I want it to be. I'm going just to the crevice where my eye folds, because when I open my eye, that's basically what you won't be able to see, is all of that. So then I know how far up to go. I'm just patting really gently with this, just dabbing down. I'm not doing any swishing or circular motions because I don't want to knock the paint underneath, because that can happen with grease paint. It doesn't quite set like a regular foundation does because, you know, it's greasy. It's very soft, quite easy to move if you're not gentle with it. Okay, then I have my eyelids covered to the point where they'll be hidden. Then I can find out how big I want it to go. So usually for clown, I will do up to the eyebrow here quite high, and then try to bring it down in like a triangular motion, because it gives it that, you know, it really helps with when you move your eyebrows, the eye makeup moves with it. But for the alien, I want the eyes to appear like quite big. So I might bring it up in like a big eye kind of motion that swoops out this way and maybe a little bit underneath. I'm not sure. I'm not like the most talented at eye makeup, so I just kind of go with the flow. Hair in the way is so fucking annoying. So I'm gonna bring it slightly above that line that I made before, but I'm gonna try to follow this shape still. So I've made kind of like a dome shape over my eye. Whenever I make a change to one eye, I always go and do the same thing with the other eye immediately, because if I do too many steps on one eye alone while I'm leaving the other one blank, I can forget kind of like the steps it took me to get to where I was. So I'm just constantly copying it over to the other side. And it's okay if it looks a little blocky right now because I haven't blended anything yet. I'm just trying to keep this like as round as possible because I want to make my eyes look really big. Okay, I think we can probably go a little bit higher on this side. I don't want to go too high because when I blend out it's going to bring some of the colour up anyways. I'm gonna dab it some under my eyes as well. So it's kind of going like round in a big circle all the way to the other side. If anyone out there actually knows a lot more about makeup than me and you want to point out that I'm doing something wrong, I'm totally fine for you to do that, because I really need some help and some advice here, but just be nice about it, because I posted a few makeup things on TikTok and people were like, oh, you're doing it all wrong, stupid. And I'm like, oh, okay, shit, sorry. Sorry for trying, okay? I think that can definitely be bigger. Starting to look very alien though. Okay. I'm unsure whether, because I was gonna try and like point it out a bit here, but I think it looks very alien as is, so maybe I'll just leave it like round and freaky, because that looks pretty cool to me. So now I've got a little blending brush. This one is a lot looser than the packing one. The packing one's really short and packed together, and this one is like really soft, really loose, and that's gonna blend it out nicely, hopefully. So I'm putting the brush on the colour. I'm not putting it where there's no colour. I'm literally just starting where there is colour and trying to go just a tiny bit out of the line where the makeup is. And that's gonna help to give it a nice soft look, so it doesn't look like it's just been thrown on there willy-nilly. So I'm happy with the shape, but the colour is like not even and not faded. So I'm going to take a bit of darker blue on my brush and just pat that into my eyelids and blend it out a little bit, just to hopefully make that colour a bit more rich, baby. I'm being really gentle. Starting to look a bit better. I'm just adding tiny extra bits of colour and blending them out small bits at a time. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes I used to make when I started doing makeup, is just going like all in with something instead of doing a little bit and testing the waters a bit first. Okay, we're looking quite alien now. So next I'm going to try and make my eyebrows a little bit blue, so I think that'll be fun. I'm going to make them a little bit bluish green because I don't want them to be similar to my eyes at all. And I'm just going to dab my brush in there. And I'm going to start at the wing of my eyebrow, the tail of my eyebrow. And kind of pack that colour into the tail. And there's a lot of powder coming off, but it's just the powder that was left on my eyebrows from earlier. Sometimes I leave the powder on and I don't wipe it off if I'm trying to do a colourful eyebrow, because it kind of helps hide the the natural brown of my eyebrows, but if I was doing brown eyebrows then I would probably wipe it off because it just makes it more difficult to get the colour on. I've been thinking about changing the shape of my eyebrows, but I just don't know if I've got the balls to make that kind of a commitment. Especially when eyebrows can always be covered up and drawn back on, like. So I'm just really concentrating the colour on the tails, and then without getting any more colour on my brush, I'm just going to start moving it inwards. And then I put more colour on the tail and move it forward again. I'm never going to bring colour and put it straight in the middle because you have to try and blend it out a little bit so it doesn't look dumb. Takes some time, but you've got to be patient. And that's coming from me, the world's most impatient person ever. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to put too much effort into the eyebrows because, like I said, fringe is going to be covering them, most likely. Next, I'm just getting a tiny bit of dark blue on the contour brush. And I'm going to be really delicate. I am so shit at contouring. But you know, my clans don't really have to be contoured because I really like that round look in the face, that really cute round look. But I think with the alien, I kind of need to make it look a little bit more gone in order to get that alien-esque vibe. That was definitely too much, but we're just going to keep blending it and hope for the best. It's not terrible. Just keep blending. When in doubt, just keep blending. It'll be okay. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. No. I sneezed out of my mouth for safety. That's because I inhaled too much of that powder earlier. This definitely does not look normal or natural, but it's fine because I'm an alien, so it's like you can't really fuck it up because what does an alien look like? Who knows? It's open to interpretation. So we just use our creative juices. Creative juices are similar to gender fluids, but they're just a little bit more moist and sticky. Okay, I'm gonna get a bit more and do the same on the other side. I think that my vision's pretty bad and I don't use contacts, so obviously I can't be doing my makeup with my glasses on, so it kind of makes it a bit difficult for me to actually see what I'm doing. But I think that my left eye is like significantly worse than my right eye because I'm doing this and it's like quite easy, and then whenever I come to the left I'm like, oh god, like I can't even see, is it even? I can't see what I'm doing. But it's fine, like I said, it's an alien, and you know, even clans are open to interpretation, and not everything has to be symmetrical, you know? It's not like the end of the world if it's not symmetrical, because people and animals and everything in nature isn't really always symmetrical. You know, wherever you've got one titty, one of them's always going to be bigger than the other one. I'm being quite gentle because I'm going over it so many times that I don't want it to pull the makeup off my face. Okay, so it's not symmetrical, nor does it look very even or very good, but whatever. Pardon me, we're just practicing, so whatever. I look like an alien. I look a bit alien-y, so that's always good. Next I'm looking for a colour that's lighter than this one, maybe a little bit sparkly. I'm gonna go in with the green. It's like a nice little shimmery green one here. And I'm gonna put that on my cheeks, my cheekbones, right at the top. Make me a little bit shiny. The glittery ones can be hard to get out, so I usually like to put a bit of pressure to try and get more of it out. We're doing things. Okay. You know what? It's not even that bad. It's not even bad, baby. Next, I'm taking this little flat boy. I'm not sure if this is the right one for the job, but I could look it up, but I'm lazy, so we're just gonna do whatever. I'm gonna get a little bit more of that dark blue, just a couple of dabs on the end, and I'm gonna attempt to contour my nose a little bit. Make that look extra freaky too. Okay. And I'm just putting the darker colour at either side. I want to try and make my nose look really long and freaky, so that'll be fun. Okay. I'm quite proud of myself, you know, this is like not bad. It's not bad at all, baby. Tiny bit more on this side. And then I'm just gonna blend it out more at the sides so it doesn't look so obvious. Yes. I honestly need a drag queen to teach me makeup because that's the only person I trust. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Now I'm getting a bit more of that blue just on the edge, and I'm gonna do like this part of my nose just at the top, just to bring that colour in, make it look a bit freaky. It doesn't matter if it looks a bit silly because after all we are trying to go for that non-human look today, so it's a vibe. I'm gonna get this really loose blending brush and see if I can get it to, because it's a bit too obvious for me, it's a bit too blocky. Okay, you know, it doesn't look the best in person, but as long as it looks good on the camera, that's all that matters, I suppose. I'm gonna get a bit of that sparkly green colour that I had earlier for my cheekbones, and I'm gonna put that on the on the very tip of my nose. Make it a little bit shiny, a little bit freaky looking. I should probably buy some actual highlighter. But the thing is with an eyeshadow palette is it can do just about everything. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, it's not my best work, but whatever. Next I'm going to be doing eyeliner. I don't use actual eyeliner for eyeliner because first of all they're expensive and then they run out super quickly. But I just got Snazaroo face paint and I used that with a little pointy brush, and I literally bought this so long ago and it's still mostly full, so it literally does not run out. But you probably should throw your makeup away after a while because you're not supposed to keep it for too long. Okay, this is probably the part where I fuck up, so get ready. I'm probably gonna try and make the eyeliner go down a bit because I just feel like that would go better with this makeup. So I'm just doing a little tiny dab on one side, and then I'll move to the other side and keep switching just to make sure they're even. Then once I'm confident that they're roughly going in the same direction, because I tend to do like one down and one up sometimes without realising, that's when I can start bringing it around the eyelid. I'm always using one hand to secure this hand because otherwise, shaky shaky, you know, I'm holding it under my chin and this hand is holding this hand. Like I said, my vision in my left eye is a lot worse than my right, so I really struggle with like actually seeing what I'm doing on that one. But yeah, I'm just gonna make that a little bit bigger. I'm not gonna make it too much bigger. So next up is mascara. One thing that I fucking hate about mascara is that whenever you pull it out, there's literally loads on the brush and it clumps up in your eyelashes. So I always scrape off as much as I can back into the pack so I'm not wasting it. But then this is why all my makeup stuff is covered in like mascara splotches because I have to find a way to like get the lumpy bits off. I swear I've tried so many different ones and they're all like this. It's so shit. Like, I don't know, maybe I just have tiny eyelashes so it's like too much for me, but I hate when it clumps like multiple eyelashes together and I really want them to be separate. So this layer of mascara will help the eyelashes blend in a bit more naturally. I always move my hair out that way because I end up painting the ends of my fringe too. And honestly, I think if I didn't put mascara on the bottom lash, I could probably do that extended eye thing where it looks a little bit bigger. But today, I've got my eyebrows and everything, and I still have like quite a bit of practicing to do when it comes to doing the big eye thing, because I tried to do it a few times and it didn't look good. So we're just simply not gonna do that. Might have to go off camera a second here just to see what I'm doing. Okay, so mascara is done and next I'm gonna do my lips. I do have a blue lipstick, but it cracks and then it flakes off, and I'm gonna need whatever I put on my lips to stay there for a while if I'm gonna be planning on painting my body today. So I think I'll use a bit of face paint for the outside of the lips so I can keep the blue theme, and then just use one of my purple lipsticks in the middle. So I have to get really close up to the mirror to do lips a lot of the times. Whether you're going to be able to actually see what I'm doing or not, I don't know, but I'm sorry. I would rather have good lipstick than get a good shot, so fuck you all. So I got the same face paintbrush that I did my eyeliner with. It's not fun. So you do. So I feel like the lips are a little bit uneven, but I think sometimes you have to know when to quit, because I've just got like a feeling that if I keep adding to them, I'm gonna fuck it up even further. So I'm just gonna leave it at that, I think. So the only lipstick that I have that's sort of like this is a purple, and I'm gonna rub it in the blue face paint because I don't want it to be too purple. I got like a bit of blue on the end, and I'm gonna do a mixy mix just to make it like a purpley blue. I still need the qualities of the lipstick, but I need it to be like slightly blue, so. Ah, nice. Ooh. Okay. Now I'm gonna stick on my favorite pair of eyelashes, which is crusty as fuck because I've used them so many times and I just don't want to buy new ones. And then the look will be completed. I'm gonna come back and show you the look once it's done because I don't want the pressure of having to put eyelashes on while the camera's watching me.